Okay, so today we're going to play with some new product from Simon Says Stamp. They graciously sent over these products for me to play with and be inspired with, and I'm going to make a fun little card today. So first of all, we have these beautiful stamps. This is called the Friendship Leafy Cluster. I think these are gorgeous, and they also have a coordinating stencil, which always makes me so excited because it makes for really quick and easy coloring, and I always love how stuff like this turns out. And again, this is the Friendship Leafy Cluster, but these are the coordinating stencils, and there are two in here. So knowing that, I went ahead and pulled two colors that I want to work with. I'm going to use Cheeky from Simon Says Stamp as well as Melon, and then I'm also going to stamp this out with Memento Tuxedo Black. So everything that I'm using will be linked down below in the description box in case you want a closer look at anything or if you want to add anything to your own collection. But let's start by grabbing a card panel and getting this stamped out. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and bring my Misty in, and I'm also going to bring in some 80-pound cardstock, and it is A2 sized, so we have 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And let's go ahead and open up our stamp. Now, what I was thinking is that it'd be neat to off-center the stamp so that it's kind of falling off the side. I thought that would be neat, but you know what I'm going to do in the end is I will trim this down. So I'm going to bring it in a little bit, knowing that I will end up trimming some of the sides off. But I think I want my first one to be something like this, and then knowing I will crop that down, kind of having it fall off the panel there. Okay, so let's open this up. And I think I'll use this big one near the top. Let's see. Sometimes it's easier to kind of plant. Yes, I want to do that because I want my sentiment. I think I want to try to aim it to be a little bit more bottom right justified. Okay, so let's grab this stamp. And since I'm focusing up here, let me move my little magnet. And again, I do want to bring in this little stem, so let's do something like this. Or do I want to do the stem? Actually, I think maybe I'll let that kind of fall off to the side. Knowing that I'm going to trim that off, let's do something like that. Okay, I really like that. So let me go ahead and close the door, and then we'll lock that into position. Okay, let me get this resituated. And I'll condition the stamp. This just helps when we're going to have a good first stamp. It helps get some of the coating that is placed on there during manufacturing. That way it's not all marbly. Gets a good stamp. Okay, let's look at the Memento Tuxedo Black and get that. Okay, I think that's going to stamp out so nice. Might have to double stamp, but that's okay. Whoops, let's get this little guy over and press that down. Okay, let's see. Oh, pretty good, but we have a little spot in the middle there actually. I wonder if I can just do a focused little press there. I think I need to get some more ink in that particular spot. Okay, let's see here. And I'm focusing in that little middle spot as well, because maybe that was user error. Okay, let's see how we do the second time around. Oh, that's, you know what? It's just a little shy right in that middle spot. Oh, that looks much better. Okay, let's go ahead and just using a wet wipe to clean that off. And then we will do our next little stamp. Now, while I have this all situated, I think I'm going to do something like that. I think that will be really pretty. Okay, let's take this one off. And I did not share all the beautiful sentiments that come with this stamp set. So let's take a peek at that really quickly as well, because I think that will be helpful with positioning the second stamp. So let's get a little contrast here. Here is the stamp set, and we have lots of really neat sentiments that I think are beautiful because I love that they are pairing more of a simple font with a script font. I think it's beautiful, and I love the sizing difference. So we have some sentiments about friends and friendship. We have a thanks sentiment. And then of course we have little pairings that can go with each of them, which is really neat. So I was thinking of doing something with this long friendship or friends. I really like I cherish our friendship. I think that's going to be beautiful. So you know what I might do is I think I'm going to put my card panel more in the middle with some washi tape, and I think I'll position the second stamp and the sentiment all together. I think that will help get the proper alignment and also give me an idea for how much space I'm going to need. I'm just worried that I won't have enough space if I do those separately. Okay, so let's get some washi tape, and that will secure our panel. And I like to use washi tape when I am floating my card panel in the middle. That way it just gives that extra assurance that it's going to stay. When I have it tucked into a corner, I can always just reposition it really quickly and know that the corner is a really reliable place to make sure that it remains in the same position. But when it's floating, it's not as reliable. Okay, so what I think I'll do is let's bring this out first. And again, I think I want to do something like this. And I'm bringing it in again because I know I'm going to crop it down. So I want to make sure I have enough placed in there. And I actually do like the stem to be included in this one. I think that will be really pretty. Okay, now, again, I think it would be nice to, let's see. You know what? Maybe I'll do the friends, because I'm already thinking it's a little crowded. And actually, I could bring this down and just crop off this side if I wanted to bring in the friendship. I really want to do the friendship one. Okay, so I'm going to make this work. What I'll do is I'm going to make this my final edge over here, and then when I do trim down my panel, I'm only going to focus over here. That way I can space this out further and go with my original plan. And that allows me to have more space in the middle there. Okay, so let's do friendship. Something like that. Actually, I don't even want to move that. I think that looks great. And we're going to do I cherish our. I wonder if I can do it together or if I should do it separately. I think I'm going to do it separately so I can really tuck it in close on top of that friendship. Sometimes I like to just do that one at a time. Okay, so let's go ahead and lock that into position. I think that looks nice. Okay, and then once more, oh goodness. Okay, let me retape that. And we'll double check that we like that position. Once more, okay. I think that looks great. Okay, once again, I'll condition this and we'll stamp it out. I'm gonna send this card to my bestie. As you know, or if you haven't been following along, I have moved, and one of the hardest parts of moving was leaving my best friend. So I'm gonna send this to her because I definitely miss and cherish her friendship. Okay. There we go. Oh, that looks really good. I am going to, let's see, do one more. And I'm wondering if I potentially got that P a little bit wonky. Well, let's see. Look at this one. Oh, nope. That lined up perfectly. I thought maybe that P was going to slant this way a little bit more, but nope. No user error. That is how it's designed. And there we go. Okay, so this is pretty neat because you could really do some really cool things with this whole stamp set. Okay, and then again, I'm going to do I cherish our. And again, I want to do that separately because I feel like I can really tuck it in closer if I don't have two stamps right next to each other. Whoops. Okay, I feel like that's straight. Hopefully it is. And looks like that's good. Now, because this is so teeny tiny, I'm just going to be very gentle as I condition it because I don't want to accidentally nudge it up or down or left or right. They're pretty durable yet fragile, especially when they're at that small size. Okay, I cherish our. Oh, I really like that. Very cute. Okay, now after I double stamp this, and really that stamped out really well for the first time, but I want the contrast to all be consistent. So if I double stamp one, I double stamp them all. That way we get the same dark, nice contrast black. Okay, now what I'm going to do is we're gonna add some color next. So I'll clean these off, put my stamps away, and then we're gonna bring out the coordinating stencils. Okay, what I think I'll do is use that washi tape once more just to secure my card panel to my mat here. I think that's just going to help with alignment with the stencils. That way I'm only worried about moving the stencil and not worrying about this card panel floating around. Okay, let's do that. Doesn't need to be fancy, it just needs to be effective. Okay, so here are the stencils. Again, there are 2. And I thought a really nice kind of sherbet orange and a nice pink would look really neat. So now what I need to do is figure out, oh, I think it's that. Nope, is that right? Yes, it is. Okay, I need to figure out alignment. I think that actually is pretty perfect. And what would be really neat also is to offset it. And I'm kind of wondering if I should try that. I think that could be really pretty. Let's see how I would do that to make it look really intentional without making it look like I just can't line up a stencil. Okay, I think this could be really cool. And you know, if this isn't your jam, then you don't have to do it this way. But I think this will be really neat just to kind of give it a little offset look and kind of displace that color a little bit. So that's what I'm going to do. And I'm going to use these magnets. I think that'll be just fine. Okay, the first color I'm going to do is this Cheeky. And let's grab, I think, more of my pink brush for this. Okay, let's see how this turns out. I think it'll be really neat. And not all of them are going to be, you know, super offset. Nudge that a little bit. Okay, I like that. Okay, but I think this is kind of, it's funny because if I unalign one, it kind of lines up the next. So I'm trying to make it so that I unalign, you know, more of them than not. And then I think a couple of them are going to end up being like spot on, but that's okay. I like the edge ones being a little bit different. Okay, I'm going to go in really light with this. I like a really light look. And I feel like every video lately I've been apologizing for my runny nose sniffling, but oh my goodness, we are just back to back getting sick and it is just exhausting. So here we are again, and it seems like I just have a different cold every week. As soon as I get well, I get sick again, and it is really tiring. Okay, so, and you could do some, you know, fun shading with this. Do whatever you want. I'm gonna keep it kind of simple. All right, how does that look? I think that's what I'd like to do. Take this off, and I might just flip that. Ooh, I think that is so cool. I'm really glad I did that. I feel like the other way would just, I mean, it would still be really pretty if you filled it in perfectly, but I think that this adds just a little bit more fun visual interest that, I don't know, to me it was worth it. Okay, so I'm gonna do the same thing here. So this would be spot on, right? But if I do something like that, and again, just like these, there's gonna be one or two that are pretty spot on, but for the most part, we have kind of a little offset there. Okay, let me grab from my mat there. And then add the cheeky. And sorry, my camera shakes a little bit. I'm still in my temporary setup. This is not normal for me to have any type of camera movement, but my craft island is getting really, really close to being finished, and then I'll be in my permanent craft space. But right now I am just hanging out in a little temporary spot while we do construction. Okay, really cool. I'm really, really liking that. So now we'll just grab the second stencil, do the same type of thing. Let's see here. What was, oh goodness. This is perfect. That's where it would be if you lined it up. So I'm gonna do the same thing and go to the right. I think that will be cool. Okay, I think that'll be fun. Do that. I mean, there's no wrong answer. You can just do whatever you wish. The second color is Melon. And I'm gonna grab more of an orange brush. Okay, let's tap some of that off. And I'm gonna go really, really light with this color. Okay, there we go. I love this color. It's so pretty. I like to go really light with it. Kind of reminds me of sherbet. Orange isn't my favorite of the colors, but if it's a nice, more muted sherbet, kind of spring orange, I really like it. Okay. Just move this over just a little bit and finish it off. Now again, your coloring or your blending doesn't have to be consistent, right? You can, do some shading. I'm just doing some quick color here, filling it all in. And let's see what that looks like. Oh, that's really neat. I love it. Okay, and then this one would be, that would be lined up, and I'll do the same thing. Now I feel like I probably should have waited for my ink to set just a little bit more. Usually you don't have to worry about that, but I dull stamped mine, so I can kind of see that I should have waited a little bit more, just so that I could have had a little bit of cleaner color, but it still looks really, really nice. Okay, so let's take this off, and that's how that turned out. I think that's really fun. I like it a lot. Okay, I'm gonna clean up my mat and very gently remove this. Now I want to decide on my crop, and I think it would be really cool to, again, just give a little bit more of a crop on this side, but let's see how that looks. Okay, I have my little mini trimmer here, and I'm just trying to decide. I want to take 1/4 of an inch off, and maybe I'll do 1/8 of an inch off of each side, because I'm actually wanting to preserve a lot of this, and I don't want my sentiment to be just hugging the side. So I'm going to take 1/8 of an inch off of each side. We'll just go all the way around. I think that's gonna look really nice. And let's see, this was at 5 1/2, so we'll go to 5 3/8. And then we'll go all the way down to 4. And finally, we'll go to 5 1/4. So my final dimensions will be 4 by 5 1/4. Okay, so that is my panel trimmed down. I think that was the right choice. I think if I would have done too much on this side, this sentiment would have just been hugging this side too much for my taste, but I like how that looks. I think that's pretty. Okay, let's go ahead and make the card base. I'm gonna do a top folding A2 size card. So I have 110 pound cardstock this time, and I have it sized at 11 by 4 1/4. And then I'll place my score line at 5 1/2, because that would be half of 11, just like that. Okay, set this to the side and fold, and then press that edge down. Okay. Now I'll open up this card, and let's place a little bit of foam tape right on the back, and then we'll have it popped right up on this panel. Okay, so I am going to add my foam tape, just like that. Oh, I think that is going to be so cute. Oh, I like that. Just a nice tiny little margin there. Let's grab the backs. This is actually some Dollar Tree foam tape. I did a really fun video on card making supplies that you can find at Dollar Tree. And I actually went recently in the new area that I live, and I have a new Dollar Tree here, and I found some really cool stuff, so I'll have to share that soon too. But I actually really like their foam tape. I do wonder though, like if I were to really sit down and price it out, if it's not really as cost effective as I think, just because it comes in such small quantities. So it's not going to be my forever foam tape, but I bought it to test it out and it's pretty good. Okay, there we go. Now I'm going to add a little bit of embellishment. Okay, and I have my little sequins bin here, and I really want to do something more golden, I think. I feel like I'm out of my favorite one. Actually, I think I may have repurchased it, but I don't think I have a clue where it is as I'm unpacking and moving. That would be really pretty. I also really like this. This is from Simon Says Stamp. It's gilded. This could actually be super pretty. I feel like it's taking on some of those colors. Let's give it a try. It's one of those sequins that has a variety of color in it, so sometimes it works and sometimes not so much, but let's see. Let's toss some on there and see what we think. Put some off to the side. Oh, I think this could be actually really pretty. Some of them are kind of purple though, and I'm going to steer clear of those just because I don't want to bring in any additional tones into my card. Let's see, what do we think of that? I don't know. I think it's pretty, but it's not giving me, I don't know, it's not giving me the warm and fuzzies. I love the sequins. In fact, I think it really actually works super well in the fall. I've used it a lot, but sometimes, you know, sometimes it just doesn't work on the card you're working on. Okay, let me try again. Okay, bingo. This is one of my favorites and go-to sequin pack. This is from Spellbinders. I'll link it down below. It is so pretty. And it is actually taking on the melon color and, that might be too big, and the cheeky color effortlessly. So I wonder if I should do my trio down here. Yeah, I think I should. Let me go ahead and just do. Okay, that looks really good to me. I like how that looks. I'm having my trio be down here because I have the bulk of my little leaf up here and then I have a smaller leaf down here. So I thought it'd be nice to flip it and have, you know, a little bit of heavy sequins on the bottom and my lighter sequins on top. Just so, I don't know, it balances it to me, but you can make your own creative decision. Okay, let's see, hopefully. I haven't taken out any of my supplies since I've moved, so let's see how everything survived. Slow but steady. And there it is. And I'll just place all of these into position. Oh, I think that's really pretty. I think that that was the right choice. I love that about just trying new things and seeing what works and what doesn't. Okay, so this is super simple, just the way that I like it. I love how that turned out. I really like the sentiment and how it is kind of off center and bottom right justified. I think that is super, super pretty. And I also really like the fun playfulness of offsetting the beautiful stencil there. I think that that was really fun. And I really think that it added to the card quite a bit. So I hope that you enjoyed watching this. This was so fun to put together. And again, everything that I used will be linked down below in case you want to add any of these things to your collection. And if you enjoyed watching, please be sure to give this video a thumbs up and I'll continue crafting with you in the next video.